We live. Peace, peace. Let me play the countdown and get to the commercial.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
All right, peace, peace, peace to the fam. We'll go ahead and kick it off. It's a movie club that I wanted to start, man, and get some perspectives and some concepts on some good movies, man. I mean, I'm a movie head. My brother Satep and my brother T'Challa I got on the panel with me is movie heads. So, I wanted to create something for us, for people that enjoy movies, you know what I'm saying? And this is gonna be more of an entertainment type of thing. But hopefully, the people enjoy it, and if so, we'll keep it going. So I let my brothers introduce themselves before we get it in.
All right, peace, peace. Oh, go ahead, Step.
Nah, if y'all, I just got my headphones in. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, peace. Yeah, it's your brother Sutep. I mean, it's your brother Step around my bad. It's your brother Step around y'all. I'm multitasking right now, but we gonna get it in. Go ahead.
All right, peace. You gonna have to share some of that and make you forget your own name, bro. Obviously, I ain't got the right stuff there, bro. But yeah, peace. I see Sister Mika in the chat. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. I done had a couple conversations with the sister over Facebook. A couple of her posts, I usually kind of chime in. I see her really seeking knowledge, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, and really, like, she be listening to everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I can appreciate that from someone who travels and seeks knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm about, like, journeying and seeking knowledge. And, for people who, you know what I mean, not just because she support us, but, like, it's important if you really trying to learn, you have to see what other people are saying, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, first of all. And two, you know what I'm saying? We can joke and we can troll and we can play around, but, if you really trying to get the information, you really going to be tuned in to see what people are saying for you to even know if it's right or wrong. Instead of just like, oh, I'm just finna tune into who I like or who I want to listen to. No, I see this sister on everybody's stuff, and people can feel how they want to feel, but that's how you learn. That's how I got to where I am, because I was watching everybody. You see what I'm saying? And still kind of do just to see what they talking about. So shout out to Sister Mika and everybody else that always be on our platform supporting us.
Yeah, man. So we'll get it in about X-Men Apocalypse now. The one of the key criticisms I had about the movie was like how they portrayed the lead villain, Apocalypse, as like, he was supposed to be from Kemet. He was from Egypt, rather, the Arab Republic of Egypt. This is at this time, but he was supposed to be from ancient times, and they made him like the way they made him. It was like almost giving credence to like aliens building the pyramids type of shit, because like they had him like magically forming pyramids out of all type of other materials from the earth and shit. Like that was kind of weird to me. How y'all feel about that?
Go ahead, T'Challa. I'm gonna follow up.
Oh, okay. Peace, Dave B.
Peace,
In
bro.
the chat. Yeah. So the lead, Apocalypse, he was portrayed as, like you said, this being who had all this power, who was, just forming things out of whatever, right? And for us that really deal with Africa, and of course the classical African civilization being Kemet, we understand that was a conglomerate of the best minds and workers, first of all, from Africa, and then secondly, imploring those from the Middle East to help build the monuments. As far as, at least, I'm going to speak of Giza specifically, because there's multiple pyramid sites in Kemet, or what's known as the Arab Republic of Egypt. Now, it ain't just the pyramids of Giza. But I feel that does, because people watch movies and we live vicariously through anything on a screen. And so movies have become the replacement of reading old texts and scrolls now, to where people who don't understand what's being presented in front of them, we take it literally. And as far as Black people in our community, that's dangerous, because most of us, as I was just sharing with the brothers before we got on, I was on a Facebook post, a thread, something about Kemet, dealing with, some other stuff, not to get too far off topic, but in the gist, the brothers is believing some stuff that's just not real. And people watch movies like X-Men Apocalypse, and they be like, see, it was some other being just magically formed. I'm like, no, that ain't how it go, and it's just dangerous to me. Go ahead, Satep.
Well, my take on it is a little different, fellas, because Sutek, you said it right on. That's why I'm confused, because he's so the person that let me ask you this, Sutek.
All
right. You talking about when the person had his hands up in the air and the pyramids was forming? Is you saying that person's an alien?
Nah,
I wasn't saying Apocalypse.
Right. That's Apocalypse, but like how they made it seem like some type of unearthly creature. I mean, I know it was supposed to be a mutant, and mutants are from Earth in this universe, in this Marvel or DC. I can't remember if they Marvel or DC. In this universe, these mutants supposed to be from Earth. I get that, but it kind of still gives credence to like an unhuman being creating these monuments. So that's why I kind of compared it to how the History Channel does with the Ancient Aliens, trying to basically say that aliens built the pyramids. It's basically taking away the credence of these Black Africans building these monuments.
And I see that. I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're saying. My only thing is, and I trust me, you right on, Sutek. And I ain't saying your eye is untrained, but to the untrained eye, you are exactly right. My only thing is, if and so Monolith, he African, he black, right? He from the continent, he's from Africa. I ain't gonna say he black, but he's an African. He's from Africa. So with him being a mutant, all a mutant is mean they got it. That's why they call them X-Men, because they got the gene. One of their genes is called an X gene. So they got the X variant gene in it, not a mutant. Other than that, you know, they human, right? But this gene makes them look and appear different, like Beast. So Beast is human, but you know, because if you watch X-Men First Class, he's in his human form until he takes that serum to try to suppress it, right? To try to suppress that mutant gene. But once he takes that serum, you know, it actually boosts this mutant gene, and then he actually turns into a blue humanoid or figure or whatever. So, but that's the variant of the X gene. So the same thing is with Apocalypse, right? He's a human. He just has this X gene, so he appears to look different. So if Apocalypse was the one that actually constructed the pyramids, by default, African constructed the pyramid. You see what I'm saying? That's just my logic behind it. But I get what you're saying as well, because he don't look African. He look like his skin is all his skin like blue or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what we do the same thing to an albino? You see what I'm saying? So, because the albino look white, but if an albino build the pyramids, we can't say a white person built it, because we know the albinoid or albino gene causes them to lose their melanation. But if you look at them, you can still see some phenotypes like the hair, you know, it's kinky, the lips, all stuff. So I just want to put that perspective on it when we looking at Apocalypse. Now, for number 2, in the time period that they given us for this was about 3100 BC, right? Or BCE, before the Common Era. Apocalypse was an abandoned child. You know, he was an orphan, and he got found by these people, and you know, they took him under his wing. His power didn't come until he found this ship, I believe, that was left behind by aliens. Now when he gets older, he does get this alien technology. So I'm with you on that. And like, I don't know if you're familiar with that tomb thing that he lays in, you know, to regenerate his power. So he wasn't always like that. You know what I'm saying? He found this technology, and guess where he found the technology at? He found the technology inside of the pyramid of the king called Rama-Tut. So if you look at R-A-M-A-T-U-T, this is all you know, it's all fictional. It's not real, but it's dealing with the Marvel universe and Apocalypse. So if you look that up, you know, it was already a pyramid built. You know, the pyramids was already built because the king Rama-Tut had it already built and constructed. You know, they just showed us that on the movie. But you know, sometimes the movie is a little different than the actual comic story. But if you just look up the backstory of Apocalypse, I believe it kind of makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Right. All right. So,
but at the same time, you know.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say at the same time, the visual that they giving us is misleading, because it does look like aliens built the pyramids, because he got this blue skin and he's holding his hands up, and you know, it's very funny because we know the pyramids was built with stone, with Go ahead, go in on that.
That's what I'm saying about, like, okay, so let me put it in perspective what I was saying. So what I'm saying is what's presented in front of you. If you present somebody with some information, like with the Bible, the Quran, or any text. You got people that read stuff like, and they just take it so literal to the point where, like, for instance, the African proverb, the lion doesn't turn around when the small dog barks, right? Now, if you get too literal and too technical, first of all, ain't no small dog around no lion on the Saharan plains on the savannah. Let's just get that established.
Right.
Right? And any dogs or any other animals, ain't no other animals dealing with no lions. Unless you got a group of hyenas, done isolated one of them. You got your flies and your ticks and your bugs like that. You got the birds that pick off the flies and the pests. And then you got your microbes, something that all living organisms deal with, right? So those are the only animals really that's finna be messing with the lion. Ain't no little Chihuahua, which is a small dog. Ain't no, hell, a pit bull is considered small. A Doberman is considered small compared to a lion. Right. So, like, the literal image of looking at something on a Hollywood production, like Gods of Egypt, that could be another. I'm sure that's going to be a bill. We probably going to go in on the show about that, because I definitely going to eat that up.
Now, we can tear that. We can dissect that motherfucker up. We can slice and dice that motherfucker up right there.
Right. But I'm with you, Satep. Like first of all, we all presenting perspectives, so it's just like it's different ways to look at it, right? And you know me, I'm coming with the warrior perspective. Ain't no one style like the style to beat everybody. You get your ass whooped if you in front of the right person. And that's what Apocalypse was to me. He was a Bruce Lee, like in the movie, because could nobody mess with him. And in the comics, I follow the comics heavily. And I got a whole file, a notebook that I compare all the Marvel DC lore with traditional African cosmogonies. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm with you, Satep. Like if you look at it and you do the backstory on Apocalypse, Apocalypse is actually one of my favorite characters throughout the Marvel universe. But the way Hollywood presented that production, like you said, is misleading. And we connect that to any information about Kemet, because over the years I've had conversations with people about this movie in Kemet, and they like, nah, see, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at them like, bro, you trying to argue with me about a Hollywood production about how to what's the names was anything going on in that movie is a Hollywood production. And so what I'm saying is like the way we present stuff and our ability to comprehend and to separate fact from reality. Like people read the Bible and be like, Satan actually literally talked to Eve and woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, first of all, you done jump right there. Eve ain't come out no Adam's rib. And what was the purpose of Adam's? How was he a male if he didn't have a female to mate with? Like, what was the purpose of his genitals? Because he was a whole man being created. You know what I'm saying? With the phallus that would have no use if he didn't have Eve in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Moreover, where did Adam come from? Like, we could dissect the whole thing. It's just like we get too literal. And that was my whole point to my bill being long-winded. We cannot look at these things and be literal. Now, I can walk down and have a conversation with you all day. We can talk comic book characters, Bible characters, whoever characters, and we can compare the cosmogonies. But let's separate the fact from the mythos in true African fashion. Because in Africa, we understand who, what, where, when, and why Oludumare is. And whoever else you want to name. We understand the difference. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'll say to rebuttal what you said, Satep, see why I would separate the two is because the movie universe separates the two from they make a distinction between humans and mutants. You see what I'm saying? So that's That's one of my big issues. Like they saying like non-humans built the pyramids because we know in the X-Men universe the humans are different from the mutants. They go against each other sometimes, most times. So you got to be able to reconcile that too. Damn, did my shit fucked up? Oh no,
He
that was his.
he
That was
got
his
kicked
shit.
off.
Yeah, yeah, but they make a distinction between the humans and the mutants. So his theory would have made would have been perfect. It would have been point on, but the only difference is they make that distinction. You that's the tell.
Yeah, my bad. What you had said real quick? My service had went bad. I went under this dang on tunnel.
I was saying, I'm with you on how you view it, but the only difference is the X-Men universe. They make a distinction between humans and mutants. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
like the humans is fighting the mutants fighting the humans. So that's my contention. Like it was non-human beings creating these monuments.
Yeah, and you know what, Susek? I'm glad you rebutted me because I wasn't even looking at it that way. You are right. You are 100% correct. They do differentiate the mutants and the humans. That's Magneto's whole thing. It's like,
Right.
the human and the humans. And you know what though? We can get deeper with it too. We can get deeper with it because I feel like here in America, we the black people is the mutants. Like I always felt like that, and white people is the regular humans. Cause they say we got like some type of superpower, not like not no spooky shit, but like um we can do all these extraordinary things when it comes to on the sports tip and all that shit. Like they try to segregate us and all that shit. Like so you 100% correct, man. They definitely separate on there, and yeah. So that's why I said like that's why I was saying too, like to take I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I just want to
Yeah.
give you my perspective, and I like how you gave me your perspective because now I'm thinking like, damn, okay, that's what's up. So yeah, man, this ain't no right or wrong thing. It's we
Right.
building, we sharing ideas, and yeah, man,
Right.
that's what's up right there, man. I like how you put that together, bro.
Yeah. See, and I done heard that too before about uh the show kind of being formed after black people being the X-Men, like it being outcast in the society. Then you got your MLK type of figure with Professor X, and you got your I
Right,
mean your Malcolm
Malcolm
X
X,
type of
Malcolm
figure
X.
with Magneto. You're right, right. So yeah, I done
Hmm.
heard that shit before. I didn't know I didn't know if that was like a theory or that was something that people saying that old boy created the show in mind with.
I don't think that. Now, I won't give him that. I won't give him that much credit because certain things develop, and then we put it into perspective to fit our situation. So that's
Right.
just basic psychology right there. I don't want to say he did that in with that in mind because the story of Magneto ain't got shit to do with black people. It got everything to do with the Jews. Like if you know the story of Magneto, he was born, he was in a concentration camp. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
yeah, like so his story ain't got shit to do with us, but and even Professor X, like his story don't parallel Malcolm X. But when you put the two figures together and then you put the black mentality on it, we able to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna give him that much credit because if you separate everything out, then you able to see the differences. But it does fit our situation when you put it all together. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, another
Go.
another thing to look at too is if we want to like so every story we understand that first of all a story is created by humans, and so when we create a story there's a lesson. There are events that did take place. Pyramids were built. um the human being, hold on, no, let me back up. All living organisms are a result of life mutating. Like that's why we look the way we do, because we have all, you know what I'm saying? Chavis and you most definitely right. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's where it's at. But if you think about it, like, okay, so what is a mutation when it comes to the scientific world? Because see, I get up in the clouds, but then I get to dealing with protons, neutrons, and electrons, right? And what Africans were calling different hidden forces that have the ability to act and affect the environment around us. So when it comes to a mutation on a quote unquote Tep Hesed method, right? That's why some black people's hair, like they can't have locks because their hair ain't kinky enough, but they blacker than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that quote unquote different skin color variation is what? A mutation. So
where you going?
Right. So on that level, like I always like Satep. I looked at the X-Men story, yeah, like from a black man living in America perspective, I'm looking like, damn, first of all, the original quote unquote man, not to sound like I'm coming from Elijah Muhammad teachings, but the original man is black people, and we have to have a certain amount of variations and mutations in our genes because we live on such a geological diverse continent where we come from. We're able to get these genes to allow them to express themselves because they have the mountains, the valleys, the rivers, the desert, the jungle, and everything in between. So that's how we're able to look as beautiful as we are, with all shades, creatures, and colors, and you know what I'm saying, different kind of this kind of variation, that kind of variation. Like you might get a light-skinned sister with super curly hair. You might get a dark-skinned sister with straight black hair. Like, I love it. So we have to understand that a mutation from a scientific or Tep Hesed perspective is the reason why we all are diverse and look the way we do. Like the three brothers on this panel don't look nothing alike. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I passed the mic.
Yeah, I see exactly where you're going with that, and yeah, that's a great perspective. Scientifically, you know, certain humans are considered mutations, you know, which you can basically say they mutants technically. So, you know, I get that. That's dope how you put that too.
Yeah, I definitely like how you put that together. That's what these conversations supposed to do, man. Is spark new ideas and create thought. You know, that's what I like, man. I like creating thought. I like people giving me their perspective, and I like giving them mine because my shit ain't always right. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Sutek hit me with that one shit, I'm like, ooh, I ain't see that. Okay. Right, that get me excited when somebody do that. Like that get me excited. I don't know about nobody else, man, but I like that, dog. So yeah, I like how you put that, T'Challa. That's what's up.
Man.
Yeah. So what y'all think about did y'all catch the was he using the language for a minute there?
Hey,
I
he
caught that.
was. Hey.
I was like, hey man, I gotta take this to the brothers, man. Shit, this shit is for real. They pump fake.
Nah, they was writing exact, man. Like if you listen to it, you know, they was writing exact with how we do it today. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right.
saying it's historically accurate, but you know, the way that we do it today, they added on, like they shit was sounding all the way legit. I'm like, ooh, I had to replay it a
Okay.
couple times. Like, I'm like, oh wow, they put the little, you know, they got the rolling tongue on there and everything. I want to ask y'all this though about that movie.
What's up?
How y'all feel about when he made the statement that you know, he walked around and he go by many names, like, you know,
Oh yeah.
he just basically saying, yeah, he basically saying like all that shit y'all believe in, that all was me this whole time. Like I like that, like that got me hyped when he said that, cause he was, cause that's how I feel anyway, man. Like, you know, like all that shit derived from the one, man. Like even with the like with the Hebrews, and you know, you go by Allah, all them names, like he just basically dumbed that shit down and like, yo, that's all me. I went by Ra, I went by Yahweh, he go by a whole bunch of different names. But at the end of the day, it's all me. And like in his story, basically saying like, you know, he would go around the globe, you know, to these cultures that were primitive, and you know, they would worship him because he come from Africa. He's the start of civilization. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the movie it said something about, you know, I was there. He said something like he was saying some slick ass shit, man. He said something like, I was there when the winds of time created fire, and I was there to mold man, or some shit he was saying, man. I was just like, yo, they got deep with this, dog. Like the movie, it's
Yeah.
a good movie, man. They got deep with it, dog. So what
He
y'all
was
think
talking
about
that
that,
talk.
though? What y'all
He,
think about that?
he was talking that talk. He was definitely talking that talk. But what I'll say is, I had a contention with that too. I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot. But that wouldn't be the African perspective, though. You know what I'm saying? Saying all these creator
Okay.
deities or these supreme deities are all the same, because, like, if you look at it, Yahweh and these other deities, these Abrahamic deities, they interfere in the everyday lives of human beings. At least Yahweh and Jesus do. I lie too much like that, but I know Yahweh and Jesus do. So, in the African perspective, the supreme being, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, they don't interject in human affairs. There is no divine intervention. So that's why that's one of the big main reasons why I would say all these deities can't be the same. What you think about it, Charlie?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm okay. So again, going into, because I sit back and I watch the movies. I play, like, if I was to show my what's on my screen right now, it ain't nothing but Japanese on my screen right now. As far as the video game that I was, you know what I'm saying, checking out while I'm under the influence. And what happens is when you really getting into different people's cosmogonies and their deities and how they act, like you said, in Africa, a lot of the indigenous supreme deities, pre-colonialism, they don't deal with interacting directly like
Right.
with human affairs, day-to-day activities. Like, and let me just say this. An African quote unquote deity, in any deity, any sort of spirit or anything like that we want to think of, we're describing actual forces that we bear witness to, but they're not quote unquote sentient beings that's like coming down, smiting you with a bolt of lightning because you didn't believe in me. You know what I'm saying? And reject every other kind of God.
Right.
Like, an African deity would literally be the river that you get your water from, that, you know what I'm saying, you walking for miles to get, right? And so the river is right where it is. And you walk away from the river. You actually come in and interact, interject, intercept, and interrupt the river's flow. because you got to bathe. You're taking a piece of it away with you. You have to consume it. So you actually are interrupting its flow, not the other way around.
Mhm.
So if anything, we would be like a deity compared to the elements themselves because we're the ones interrupting the elements.
Mm.
That's just what I think, you know.
Another dope perspective. I like that.
Yeah, I ain't got what Satep got, but I got a little something, you know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right though. They don't like the supreme deities, they don't interfere in human life and earthly matters. Really, like, you know what I'm saying? They're more distant. And like you said, the people don't interact with these deities as well. Like, you know, they got a whole world to worry about. Like, you can't be too concerned with my individual prayers. Like, that's selfish. You know what I'm saying? So they give credence and their worship and their reverence, for a better term, to these quote unquote lesser deities. So that's a big difference. That's one of the big differences. That's why I can't say that like, yo, these are all the same. And then like they're not concerned. These the supreme deities in the African culture are not concerned with your moral behavior. Like they ain't no like that's why they call God, quote unquote, in the Abrahamic faith a sky daddy, because they worry about if you good or bad, almost like some Santa Claus type shit. Like in African culture, these supreme deities are not. They don't have time to be worried about what you doing morally. Like they trying to keep the world and the universe and the earth intact. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I wouldn't say that he was talking that talk though. That I agree. That shit did sound good. But yeah, that they wouldn't be the same. Like he was naming El, Yahweh.
Right.
Nah.
And in addition to that, just to add on, like African systems have the intermediaries. For instance, you have the fetisher who
Mhm.
he goes into the forest, and what he's doing is he's communicating with the forest, that the elements of the forest, right? The different plants, the different like, you know, animals, insects, bugs, other animals as well. And you know what I'm saying? How do we know that? Like leopard skin. You know what I'm saying? Like leopard skin is
Right.
all throughout Africa. So we're in close proximity. So and there's a reason why he specifically does that is because he needs to get used to the pathogens within the jungle, deep in the forest or deep in the wula, as we say in Mandinka and Malinke language, in the wula, um, so that he can get used to the pathogens so that he doesn't get sick and just be out of commission because he's the medicine man of the village. So um that's another thing. Like we're very connected with nature and indigenous cultures worldwide. So we understand these forces. We may not call them diseases and pathogens and virus and bacteria, but we know these things is affecting us.
Mhm.
We know something is affecting us, put it that way. And everything in Africa, like I don't like the brother, but like Polite said, we like to make things have eyes, nose, ears, and a mouth like us. That's the way the brain works.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right. Yeah.
That's a
So
fact.
that's how we understand reality. That's why any biblical perspective is wrong automatically, because you can't sit up here and say you have it all figured out, because life is constantly mutating, changing, evolving.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. That's why when you see when I hear about people talking about they done seen aliens and etc., but they got two eyes front facing, they got a nose spot, they got a mouth in the front, like they got four limbs, two arms, two legs. Like, oh, this is sounding very humanoid. Like, yo, you sure you didn't? Your mind didn't make this shit up. But yeah, man. What's y'all favorite? What's y'all favorite scene in the movie? I say mine first. One, well, I say two. One of them, they both got to do with Magneto. I fuck with Magneto, tough. The first one was when they killed Magneto's family. That is Apocalypse, right? Or am I tripping? Am I merging another one?
What you say? What you say, Sultan?
when they killed Magneto's family, that was Apocalypse, right? When they killed his
I
wife
don't
and his
think.
daughter, right?
Damn. I can't remember. I ain't watched the movie in so long, but I don't think Magneto and them killed his family. I think it was I think his family got killed by oh no, yeah, Magneto didn't. They didn't kill his Apocalypse didn't kill his family. Remember, he was working at that plant, and they found out that he was a mutant. So they came and
Yeah,
killed his family because yeah, that wasn't
right.
Apocalypse that did that, but Apocalypse used that to channel
Nah. I wasn't saying Apocalypse did it.
his
I was saying
his
I was making
ability.
sure it was in the movie. I got the right movie.
Okay, yeah, that was in that one. Yep, it was in that one.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that scene, both of those scenes, what you was just talking about, the one at the steel mill and the one where they kill his family in the woods. Those two were my favorite scenes. Bro, dude went crazy. I wanted to see
Hey,
Magneto.
I ain't
I
gonna
wanted to
lie.
see. Yeah, dude popped up and killed everybody at the platform, but I wanted to see what Magneto was gonna
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That might be my favorite scene too, man. Because when he did that, when Apocalypse walked up to him and told him, "Put your hands to the ground, feel the metal." Because like if you think about it, that's scientific. Because what is the Earth's core? Molten lava.
do. Yep.
So he was able to switch the paradigm in his head. Like, listen, do you feel that? You can control that. Like this is you got all this, but he boosted his power a little bit too. But yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes too, man. That one, and then like how it started in the beginning. I like how it started in the beginning. I ain't gonna lie, the beginning was lit. When they started out, it was all Egyptian, and then they got to walk in and doing the talking and all that. I like that shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was my two scenes. What about you, T'Challa?
Um, y'all know me with the language. I was all up and down when he was talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a knack for patterns and organized sound. And so you talk that talk long enough to me, and I'm a you know what I mean? ¿Cómo estás, señor? ¿Qué necesitas? Like I'm gonna talk to you in your language because you keep talking to me. And my brain, like, not to sound pseudo, bro, but like some people just have a knack, a gift. Like some people could pick up a basketball and dribble it, and before you know it, they Kyrie Irving, you know, James Harden, LeBron, like you know what I'm saying? That's who they become.
Yep.
So for me, it's just like I've always been able to excel in different areas of my life because of my knack for language. So that was any scene with him talking in any scene in any movie where somebody talking in a different language. Like, first of all, the second time I watched the movie, I put it in Spanish.
Mm.
The third time I watched the movie, I put it in French. And then if I really want to test my knowledge, I put it in Portuguese because that's like French and Spanish having a baby. So that was one. And then two, the other scene, I guess I would have to go with you, Sutek, with him realizing that he had that when he was like when Apocalypse told him to deal with the earth and touch it.
Right. Yep.
Because we literally come from this ball of molten lava, solid, liquid, and gas. Like we can't, like, as far as we know, we ain't got no other option. Ain't no plan B right now for a place to live. So the earth is actually literally like the womb for humanity, right? For all life, as far as we know it.
Yeah, man. Apocalypse was coming through, turning everybody up. getting everybody extra powers and shit. Yeah, that was hard, man. That was a good movie. I like the part too where I like all that like building or destruction, the destruction scenes where they was tearing down everything. They had Magneto like going crazy. Like that shit was dope too. He was basically tearing down the old buildings and shit and creating a whole new pyramid. Like of course I ain't like the fact of how they tried to make a non-human building a pyramid. Other than that, like that shit was dope. That shit was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see another. I didn't like though how they made the character of Apocalypse. Like they had him almost looking avatar, like he came out of like he an Avatar superhero or something.
Yeah, I feel you.
Man,
And another thing too, like on the note of like when things being used out of the Marvel universe versus what's actually going on in the political climate, right? The social political climate of the world and the country at the time of production. We're gonna stay on X-Men Apocalypse, but I'm just gonna mention the comic book character, obviously Black Panther, as a reference because most black people would say, "Oh, they got that from the Black Panther Party," and it's like I know that you haven't done your homework on the Marvel universe because when you deal with when Black Panther, let me let brother in. Oh, what happened? Oh, you got him.
yeah,
When you look at who created, when the characters were created, and then you look at the time when the Black Panther Party was formed, the first Black Panther Party, right?
mm-hmm.
You understand that the character Black Panther was already the Black Panther before the Black Panther Party. Yeah, the character was already created.
So you're saying the character came before the political party?
Character came before the political party.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I never even thought of that. Yeah, man. That's let me see another thing I had issue I had. Like I don't want to keep saying issues because it was a good movie, but I don't like how they keep changing characters. Like not characters, but keep changing actors. Like they changed what's the old boy name? Nightcrawler. They changed Nightcrawler. I didn't like that. I didn't like the new Nightcrawler actor. I wasn't really feeling him. I like the other guy. I don't know his name, but he did a good job playing Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I
he
hate
also
when they do
Really,
that.
yeah, wasn't really feeling the new Nightcrawler like that.
Yeah, I hate when they do that, man. They did that shit with Spider-Man too. I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. I don't like when they do it though, but I don't know if it's controllable though because people may not. The dude who did the movie may not want to take that price they trying to pay. I don't know the politics behind that, but I'm with
Right.
you. Though. I ain't like it either. Like
dude
so.
that played Nightcrawler in the first X-Men, he's a
Okay.
capoeista. That's why he can move like that, right? As far as breaking it down, talking about the actual human, because it's a human with the makeup and the costume on behind the cameras actually doing the shit, but he's not able to vamp and go into another dimension and then come out the wormhole on some Einstein shit, right? On the other side in the room somewhere. Like, no. But the actual person who played Nightcrawler, he played in one of the Ocean's 11 movies when they was doing the bank heist. And
I ain't watched that one yet.
he had to the one with the lasers. It's either Ocean's 12. I think it was Ocean's 12 where they had those lasers and they was like, how you gonna get through the room with the lasers? And he was like, watch this. and he was doing capoeira, and that's how he was able to beat the timing of the lasers so they can get the stuff.
So he's from South America then.
Yeah, I believe he's from Brazil, speaking Portuguese heavy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Speaking of wormholes, though, we're gonna have to do one day Interstellar. I just finished that last night. You know that shit like almost 3 hours long. So
what is it? What is it?
Interstellar.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that movie long, man. I had to watch that like twice to get it.
Me too. I tried like 4 times. This last time I finally made it all the way through. But yeah, that's a good ass movie, yo.
Yeah, it's good after you watch it 4 times. Gotta watch it about 4 times, man. I was like, damn, man, I should be getting this shit. But once I watched it, because it's so long, man, and then I'm like, okay, I'm watching this shit. So I sat down and really watched it. I'm like, oh, I get it now. But why y'all had to drag it out?
Yeah, man. Some of the science in it was kind of a little off too. But yeah, that was a good move. For what it was, it was a good move. We definitely have to do that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Okay.
How y'all feel about because this kind of ties in with some of the stuff. Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen. He always got 4 horsemen. How y'all feel about that? Like,
I feel like they were trying. Well, he actually said like somebody in the movie said that was supposed to be like a reoccurring theme in ancient cultures, but I don't really see it except for the Bible.
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, that's a direct out the Bible is that 4 horsemen stuff, and he always got them. Like, if you once you start diving into his character, every time this nigga resurrected and everything though, like he get killed, but he always resurrects. So like in that movie, he ain't really dead. He dead, but he ain't really dead. So he can resurrect himself with that dang on that chamber thing he be using. But I feel like he got that story to where, it's kind of like Jesus or some shit like that. Well, he basically say, yeah, he Yahweh. So, but yeah, he always resurrected. And he always got the 4 horsemen, man. What y'all think about that? They put that on that African man.
You know they was gonna impose other cultures onto it, like you said. As soon as they said, I'm everybody, I'm all these different gods. That's when they gave themselves leeway to kind of add on foreign shit. So they was already setting up for it. You know they can't just be Africa and leave it at that.
Yeah, and that concept of like, so he always resurrecting himself, which means that when you die, you're supposed to just your energy dissipate, right? The gas, your last breath, your oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon, all that just kind of gets released, and your physical body, if you're buried, is pretty much consumed by the rest of the smaller organisms of the earth, and including absorbed into the soil itself. And he's just coming back. So we know in Africa, death don't exist. Like we don't talk about death like that the way in the Western European sense. So some of the elements of his character was very African, although coming with the 4 horsemen and all that, like, ain't no revelations in Africa like that, bro. That ain't going down like that. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? We don't even, all the African stories and cosmogonies, they ain't even dealing with horses like that.
What I like though, man, they was consistent with that shit though. Like, you know, he said he was all that shit, and he definitely is. Like, cause like you said, T'Challa, it's some African spirit, it's some African shit on his character. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Jew stuff on there, man. So like when he said like when he said he created he created man or some shit like that, the civilization of man, like that just reminded me of Ptah.
Yeah.
Or no, not Ptah, but Khnum. Like
Oh,
that,
with the
I don't know
Potter's
what.
Wheel.
Yeah, he said a line in there that was along those lines, and I was like, oh man, he that's a Khnum reference there.
Yeah, he was definitely throwing a lot of African shit in there, but yeah, they like you said, they gave themselves leeway to throw them foreign cultures in there as well when he was like, I'm all these guys. Like, okay, so that's what you set it up for.
Mm-hmm.
I think they changed going back to my other point, I think they changed Jean Grey too.
The actress.
Yeah, they changed the actress. See, that type of shit be getting me confused, man. It took me a minute to even realize she was Jean Grey.
Right.
But see,
They said something.
Go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. They had old girl in it, but something happened. Something happened, man. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know like I said, there's some politics that be going on that we ain't aware of when it come to these actors, because it was actually scenes of old girl in there. I seen them, like, but they didn't make the cut though. Like,
She
so
probably wanted that bag.
Yeah,
she was
like
coming
it
off.
seems like y'all look it up.
She was coming off the Hunger Games and shit, so she probably wanted that bag.
That's the only thing I could think of, man. It'd be like some money discrepancies. They like, nah, I know what this movie about to do. I need this. I need X, Y, and Z. So they probably just do like they do at a job. All right, well, we ain't gonna give you no raise. You gonna quit? We just gonna get somebody else, and we gonna pay them less.
Yeah, and to the politics thing, they, you know, like with Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, first dude, Tobey Maguire, I think that's his name.
Yep.
He like Tom Cruise cussed out his crew for the umpteenth time, right? He always cussing somebody out on his movie sets because they wasn't following COVID restrictions. Like guidelines, they probably didn't have a mask on. They probably was not social distancing, whatever. And, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs with Toby or whatever, but it was some discrepancies with him back in the day. Then they decided to revamp it. So then they did the other Amazing Spider-Man series with the other dude. And now this Spider-Man who's in the recent Marvel Avengers movies is a whole nother Spider-Man.
Yeah, man, that shit. I hate that.
But then with X-Men, remember we had Days of Future Past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a whole. So if you go back to the past, you can't have the same characters if they super young. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Can't do that. But then with X-Men Apocalypse, I'm with you. Like, hold on, isn't the Phoenix Jean Grey or, you know, whoever, like, isn't she supposed to be old girl?
Yeah, I think she was like Jennifer Garner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people was complaining about her acting in them X-Men movies. So I don't know, man. Like Tip said, I'm pretty sure some type of politics behind that shit. Either she wanted the bag, either they said, look, you shortchanging us because you got all these other projects going on. What the situation was. But yeah, I see what you're saying with the, you know, going back in time, how they made old boy Professor X, and then they went back to the original Patrick Stewart Professor X when they got back older. Yeah, I get that. But they be changing like characters from the same age range and shit. Like, oh, calm down, yo. I just got used to seeing her as this character. Now you changing it. I'm 20 minutes into the movie. I don't even know that this is the character.
Mm-hmm.
That shit crazy.
You know, we already forgetting our names around here. So Tep get on there calling himself you. So that's extra confusing for us because we just trying to keep up. Like,
Yeah, man, this is a good one though. So what y'all want to do next?
I don't know. It's a good question. Like, what? Now you got me wanting to watch Interstellar because I ain't seen that.
Yeah, man, I just see. I'm gonna have to watch it over again because even when I did watch it, I didn't start it from the beginning. I started from the part where I kept cutting that shit off it. I was like an hour into it, like right before they go into space. I always cut that shit off. I'm like, man, this shit is taking too damn long, yo. But I'm gonna have to watch it from beginning all the way from beginning to end because they did like wrap that shit around to the beginning. Have you ever seen it?
No, that's what I'm tweaking or I don't remember seeing it. I have to go back and look at it again because I don't remember actually watching that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Man. Matthew McConaughey. That was probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite movie from him. Yeah, man, you gotta check that out. This is good. You like that? You like all the stuff about the cosmos and physics and science. You definitely gonna like that shit. Motherfuckers going in wormholes and relativity, time relativity, and all that shit.
What's that, Sutek?
Interstellar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That movie legit. It's just long, man.
Shit is.
Yeah, because like
Take
real
something off.
quick. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, I just was talking shit. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when it come to that, like to interstellar travel. So if you're able to travel faster than the speed of, let's say we build a vessel, Kofi Pasa research team rocket ship, and we could travel faster than the speed of light, right? So everybody back on Earth, if we able to travel faster than the speed of light, and we're traveling, or let's say we travel a little bit, let's say we travel just under the speed of light, and we traveling in a direction we're going away from our solar system. And let's say we moving on Earth the equivalent of 10 minutes, what we call 10 minutes, right? So that's relative to our star, our sun, 10 minutes. We're not going to it's not the same 10 minutes interstellar travel as the 10 minutes back on Earth, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Right.
I'll give you a perfect example, T'Challa. I don't know if anybody on here watched Star Trek, but at the beginning of every episode, it tells you the star date. It says star date 672357 or some shit like that. That's just telling you the time in the space travel time because the time is relative to where you at. So that's like that coincides with exactly with what you're saying.
Right. And specifically, even further, depending on what type of being you are, time is different for you, even right here on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a fly only lives how long compared to, maybe your dog, compared to you, compared to a tree. But we all experiencing the same gravity.
It's funny that you said that because the time relativity is tied in with gravity in the movie. I don't know if that was like correct scientifically or not, but yep.
It is. Because
That's
gravity
Albert
has
Einstein, the theory of relativity.
Right. That's explaining gravity.
Okay.
But like I
Had that
said,
part
going
right.
into African cosmogonies, bro. So we understand these forces, but we wasn't speaking English. We in Africa.
Right.
So you mean it? So I'm just gonna put this research question out there. You mean to tell me that our indigenous traditions don't have a word for gravity? None of them? Because the Maasai understand jumping up and down. We got a jumping up and down tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we understand that we come back to the earth, that we can't fly like the birds. So you mean to tell me we don't have a word for that invisible force affecting our reality, like every other invisible force?
That's a good point.
What
I
do
think they
Africans?
try to attribute. Oh, go ahead, finish your build.
No, I was just gonna say, what do Africans call gravity? But go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good ass question. I think, and all I was gonna say was, I think they try to attribute that to Isaac Newton, if I'm not mistaken, because the apple hit him on the head, and he try to figure
Oh
out why
yeah.
the apple, what made the apple hit him on the head. But Einstein's theory of relativity was different, because Isaac Newton was prior, he was before Albert Einstein. I just wanted to put that out there, let people know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a good one you can do next, or sticking with the space type of theme. You do Arrival. I just watched that recently too, and that's crazy because it kind of goes into like what we was building on the video call in the back chat that day about if aliens did come to Earth, like would they come in peace or would they come for war? So that kind of goes into that too.
Right.
And how
Basically,
will we know?
that's the
How
whole
will we
movie.
know?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's a
you hear
good
me,
question.
Sute?
And how will we
How
know?
will we know? Because that's in that movie. That's in that. They thought they was on some beef and shit the whole time. And
Right.
it's a. Have y'all seen Twilight Zone? It's 1,000,000 episodes, right? But it was one episode on there where these aliens came in, and they had a recipe book, or they had this book, and it was called To Serve Man. So we thinking that the aliens coming here to serve us, like to be, they was coming in peace, they was cool, but the damn book was actually talking about how to cook man, like serve them as a dish. That shit tripped me out. I was young as hell when I watched that, but it was like it was a play on words, It was like they was saying they was coming in peace, and they had that book in their hand called To Serve Man, but they was really trying to get in good with man so they could figure out how we get down, and they was really trying to cook us and eat us and shit. It's crazy. So yeah, Arrival
That's the
would
first
be a
thing I
good
thought
movie
of.
because yeah, that would be a good one to break down, and you would like that one too, Tyler, because it's dealing with language.
Yep.
I think I may have seen that. I just again like, bro, I be in so many damn vocabulary words. It's stupid. Like, I mean, in so many different languages. Like, I'm dealing with 8 languages right now, so it's just like some of the movies I forget what was, and then that ain't even dealing with djembe music itself. So it's just like that's a 9th language, truthfully. Um,
And
yeah,
this type of language would be very beneficial to human beings. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I don't want to get no spoilers in case you ain't seen it. But yeah, man, this language, it's some other shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It got to do with time and all that shit too. Like, but I ain't gonna say no more, man. 'Cause I don't want to get too much of that. This shit a good movie and it got some decent plot twists. So yeah, we could do that one. Yeah, man. So been a good hour. Shit, we can stop right here. Uh, so the next one we'll be doing is Arrival. Okay, I watched that movie, even though I just watched it like 3 or 4 days ago. I'm watching it again. It's a good movie. I can definitely have some rewatch value. I think that's one of the movies you got to watch more than once anyway to like kind of catch it.
Hey, I got one for us.
What's that?
Inception.
That's a good one too. Christopher
It's
Nolan.
long as hell, but yeah.
Yep, that's Christopher. I think Interstellar was a Christopher Nolan flick too. Yeah, I'm starting to get into Christopher Nolan shit. Yeah, he got some good movies. But yeah, that was a good one too. Dealing with dreams and shit. Yep.
And specifically in African cosmogonies with dreams, what dreams represent in Africa, bro. Like, you could take everything you ever learned and then deal with what do other cultures, like what do the Mayans say about dreams? What do different Japanese cultures throughout different times say about dreams? Like, because we only have a European perspective, bro, especially if we speak in English. That's the only perspective we understand while we arguing about being Abos, the 12 tribes, and who we are. Like, if you speak in English, you got one perspective, period.
Yep, you on point because like in Arrival, they talk about like how uh, the language that you speak can result in how your brain is wired. And if learning new languages can rewire your brain. Right. So yeah, I'm with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So we'll end it here. And we'll figure out one of those to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll make a poll or something for people to vote which movie we want to do next. I know we got brother Unc over there live. That's probably why we ain't got too many people over here today. But yeah, I think this would be something good, man. It's a good little bill, good show. So yeah, we'll pick it up. We'll have to figure out a day to pick the next one up. I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure out a day to pick the next one up. I guess depending on everybody's schedule and also the movie that we're gonna do. Because we talking Inception. I done seen that before, but I think I need to watch it again. I need it fresh on my brain. Also Arrival too. Anything we review actually. So yeah, man, we'll pick it up maybe in a couple of days or so. This is something good. But yeah, man, appreciate anybody who did come through. Like I said, we ain't had too many because brother Unk over there live on Pseudo Killers, or the Pseudo Killers is over there live. So yeah, appreciate those that did come through and rock out with us. We will be back. We will be making this a thing. Make sure you check out. Oh yeah, before I go, we gotta advertise. So I'm gonna throw the link in the chat for our clothing brand that we have, Family Connected Apparel. Matter of fact, I'm gonna share the screen. Well, I don't need to share the screen. There ain't nobody on here. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat for those that were watching in the future. And we also have books. Get your Volume 1, Spirits of the Marcy, From Spirits to Pens, Volume 2, and Spiritual Combat, Volume 3. And we also have children's books. We also have other books produced by some of our brothers on the team as well. And we have future upcoming publications that will be out on KofiPodsideTV.com also. So pick up y'all some merch, man. Pick up your shirts. your sweatpants, your jackets, your masks. Pick up your volume 1, 2, 3. From cocaine to consciousness. As I learned, we all learn. Kalawa's trip to the motherland. One night before bed. We got something for everybody, man. So I'm gonna play the commercial one more time before we get out of here. And we done.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They here.
All right, yeah, peace, Robin Rand, bro. We just got done, man. We ended. Go ahead, start it over. Check it out. It's a movie club. We starting. But yeah, man, we out here. We out of here, man. Peace.